Hey my spookies, before we begin the show I want to give you a quick update on my dog Chicano's cancer treatment and chemotherapy. So far so good, he hasn't been super sick, and we're getting ready to run a test to see how he's doing internally. That being said, it's costing a lot of money, and I want to thank you all who've helped me raise $1,956 as of the recording of this video. If you are able, any amount helps. Just go to WeeklySpooky.com and click on Help My Dog. It really, really means the world to me. But now, let's get to the show. A girl goes missing after a bizarre incident involving what many assume is drugs or severe mental illness, as internet sleuths have dug their claws into this topic and have many, many theories. With this many suspects, could any of them be on the right track and find a missing girl?
What you are about to hear is believed to be real, based on witness accounts, testimonies, and public record. This is terrifying and true.
Welcome to Terrifying and True. I'm your host, Enrique Couto, and tonight we have a story that pulls at many of our heartstrings. Missing persons are a very touchy topic for many, because when you really crunch the numbers, a lot of people go missing. But it's even more heartbreaking when the person who goes missing is a child. And even furthermore, when no resolution is found. All you have is a mess of suspects, tons of finger pointing, and some questionable actions by law enforcement. Tonight is the story of Karlie Lain Guse, a woman with a bright future and a dark ending. And we'll dive in after these quick words. Losing a loved one, especially a child, is never easy. But while the sad conclusion of a child's death offers potential finality, children who go missing offer no such relief. Are they dead or are they alive? Did they simply run away? Or were they kidnapped? All answers that most of the time are never resolved. Intrigue in missing persons cases have increased from the early days of stranger danger, due in part to shows such as America's Most Wanted, whose host, John Walsh, lost his son to a kidnapping turned murder, as well as increased national news coverage and even media, such as movies, mostly made for television. Now that we live in the era of social media, streaming services, and podcasts, more people than ever have become invested, not just in cases of a person going missing, but in true crime as a whole. But what happens when a story is so shrouded in mystery and also so devoid of any resolution? A story that features facts that can be argued to not be concrete and are debated to this day. A story that is heavily steeped in social media discussion. This is the story about the disappearance of Karlie Guse. Quote, "To really up and vanish like she did, it's mind-boggling." Brad Bilderback, FBI agent working on the case. On the evening of October 12, 2018, 16-year-old Karlie Lain Guse asked her father Zach and her stepmother Melissa if she could attend a football game at her high school. Her parents gave her permission, and Karlie went on her way. At 8 p.m., Melissa called Karlie and asked if she needed a ride home from the game. Karlie refused the offer and told her stepmother that she would be taken home by her boyfriend, Donald. What Zach and Melissa did not know was that Karlie had lied about the game and was instead hanging out with several friends at a party. Around 8:30 p.m., Melissa was contacted by Karlie asking to be picked up from the party in a panicked manner, stating that she was booking it down the road and to hurry. Her boyfriend and friends would later state that while at the party, Karlie was acting in a crazed manner and could not be calmed down, at one point running away from the party, and later Donald. This was not the first time Karlie supposedly acted like this, with her friends later stating that in the days leading up to the party, she was worried about being tracked down via her smartphone and was having episodes. The Guses, on the other hand, stated that they did not notice such behavior, only noting that she had been receiving counseling at school for a drug-related incident. When Melissa arrived at the trailer park where the party was being held, she found her daughter nowhere to be seen. After driving a mile down the road, she found Karlie running away from where she had originally said she was, guided only by the light of her phone. Upon getting into the vehicle, she acted hysterically, jumping from seat to seat and acting paranoid and anxious, believing wholeheartedly that she was going to die. Her appearance was described as pale and her eyes dilated. Melissa later explained that Karlie admitted to smoking marijuana at the party. A later text that Karlie sent to Donald showed that she believed the marijuana was laced with another substance. The behavior continued once the two were back at home, as Karlie shifted mentally on the fly. Both Zach and Melissa stated that one minute Karlie would be huddled in a corner, and the next minute she'd be close to them, seeking comfort. In particular, they shared that Karlie appeared to be very, very paranoid about her phone. Eventually, she asked Melissa to spend the night with her to do various activities, such as painting their nails and reading the Bible. Melissa agreed. As the two stayed in Karlie's room throughout the night, her behavior continued to fluctuate. Karlie is said to have been scribbling away at paper, asking Melissa to sleep with her for comfort, to stay up all night with her, and asking about what would happen if she was harmed. Throughout the night, Melissa recorded 2 videos on her smartphone with the intent to show her daughter them the following morning as a way to show Karlie what happens while a person is on drugs. These videos have never been made public, having only been seen by the family, law enforcement, private investigators, and a select few news outlets. Eventually, after attempting to eat dinner, Karlie laid down in bed for the night. The following morning on October 13th, Melissa went to check on Karlie between 6 and 7:30 a.m. and found her missing, with all of her belongings still present, phone included. Quickly thereafter, she found the front door to the house ajar. Melissa and Zach searched the house and outside before they set out in their cars to find their daughter, concerned about her mental state. Zach also notified Karlie's birth mother, Lindsay, to alert her on the situation. In the area of White Mountain Estates of Chalfant Valley in California, where the Guses lived, 3 eyewitnesses reported to have seen Karlie walking southward 30 yards east of Highway 6 and 100 yards south of Sierra View Road. The eyewitnesses and Melissa stated Karlie was wearing either jeans or sweatpants that were gray, a white t-shirt, and Vans shoes with a piece of paper in her hands. That same day, the Guses contacted the Mono County Sheriff's Office. A wide search began of the area, which included forest land and a vast desert. But despite the manpower as well as search dogs, Karlie was not located. The FBI later became involved and additional searches were carried out, but their results were the same. As of 2023, Karlie has yet to be found, and her case is considered cold. Both the FBI and Mono County Sheriff's Office continue to seek any and all information that could lead to her being found. She is not considered a runaway. After the initial manhunt, Karlie's story blew up throughout the country. Concerned citizens took to social media websites such as Facebook and Reddit to form groups in the hope of being able to gather information that would find the missing teenager. In 2019, the Guses appeared on the popular television program Dr. Phil, and the story has been covered by other outlets including Fox News, Nancy Grace, and various podcasts and YouTube crime channels. Melissa herself has held several Facebook Live videos to provide updates on the search for Karlie. Yet despite the national attention both in the news press and even more so over the internet, no new leads have successfully discovered where the teenager is. At multiple points since her disappearance, several videos have appeared on YouTube and TikTok in which girls appear that people thought were indeed Karlie Guse. However, investigation into the women included in the footage discovered that it was not indeed the missing Guse. With very little moves forward made with the case, those following online took it upon themselves to begin sleuthing and figure out what exactly happened to Karlie. Much like the people working officially to find her, the online community has been unable to locate the missing girl. But a cursory glance at the multiple pages for the disappearance have shown that those in the quote-unquote community have, like many other social media communities, turned on each other in arguments over the stated facts and their own theories. This does beg the question, though. With no solid leads and the authorities open to any theories about what happened, what are the theories out there about Karlie's vanishing act? The following are two theories that have been created and spread throughout those who have followed the case. Number 1, that at some point in the night or early morning, Karlie exited the house on her own, still feeling the effects of the drug or drugs she consumed, or still in a foggy place mentally. She wandered along the roads where she was spotted. From there, she either A. wandered off into the nearby desert or forest where she succumbed to the elements and died. This is believed due to the searches for her body that turned up a bloody pair of underwear. Unfortunately, the underwear was sent to the wrong location by authorities, and thus was not able to be examined further. The private investigator on the case later stating that the sheriff's office did not follow proper protocol in general, citing them not collecting and testing her bedsheets or searching through the Guse cars as examples. Out of the two locations, it is the desert that most believe she went into, as one eyewitness reportedly stated that Karlie was seen near the desert on the other side of a barbed wire fence. Or B, Karlie was kidnapped while walking along the near highway. The second theory is that Karlie died due to her parents. One version of this theory suggests that while driving to try and find her daughter, that Melissa, not paying attention, hit her daughter and killed her. She then disposed of the body. More popular, however, is one that has also been suggested by Karlie's birth mother, Lindsay. She claims that in the video she was shown by Melissa that Karlie, eyes opened, died due to an overdose of the substance she had taken because of how poorly Melissa and Zach handled Karlie's reaction to the drug she took. Lindsay later shared that her daughter had, weeks before her disappearance, asked her about LSD, an intense psychedelic drug that can cause severe paranoia and fear. She, as well as other outlets that have seen the video, shared that in both clips, Karlie asks Melissa about if she would contact 911 if anything happened, and that Melissa wanted to kill her. Lindsay has also said that at the end of one of the videos, she heard the sound of a struggle or scuffling. When she asked Melissa about it, Melissa simply walked away. To further add to the theory that the Guses had some hand in Karlie's going missing, many have shared that they find it odd that Melissa has changed different details of those final hours on various occasions. Along with this is that when holding the Facebook live streams, she acted very shiftily. While there are others out there, these two theories are the ones that have gained the most traction for those following the investigation. In 2019, 18-year-old James Doolin was arrested and pleaded guilty to charges of contributing to the delinquency of a minor in relation to Karlie's use of weed at the party. 2 years later, in 2021, Zach Guse was arrested for domestic violence on account of bodily injury to his wife, Melissa. People continue to hold hope, though, that one day she will be found. Lindsay continues to talk about her daughter on social media to help keep the case in the public eye. Bishop Union High School also continues to remind others of Karlie by beginning every football game with a dedication to the missing girl, to keep Karlie in their thoughts and prayers. Every day as well, new people come across the story of her vanishing over the internet via YouTube videos, podcasts, or articles on the subject. No parent, family, friend, or caring human being ever finds joy in losing somebody close to them. Whether it's an adult or a child, it's never a pleasant experience. With this current year marking 5 years since she went missing, Karlie is no closer to being home than she was when the investigation started. Through leads that went nowhere, finger-pointing, and online drama, at the end of the day, there is still a girl, a daughter, out there in the wind. Many people say that in the age of social media and smartphones, everybody is always watching, and nothing can go unnoticed. But in this instance, through either purposeful ignorance or a magic trick worthy of Howard Thurston or McCavity, nobody saw or knows a thing. That is the story of Karlie, Lain, Guse. It's hard to imagine someone you love and care about disappearing, but even more so when it's someone whose duty it was for you to protect them. The finger pointing in this case is pretty intense. I don't know how much of it I take seriously. The idea that the stepmother could be a bad influence or evil in some way is just so cliche. It's so common not to trust the step-parent. But maybe some truth is there. It's also worth noting that the domestic violence dispute between Zach and Melissa is curious. However, any marriage put through losing a child is going to find themselves on a very unpleasant and rocky road. But what do you think? Do you think the internet sleuths are onto something, or do you think they're all just grasping at straws, as we all do, hoping to solve an unsolvable crime in order to allow us to sleep better at night? Often I think that's where conspiracy theories come from. A desire to feel like there is control where there clearly isn't any. A desire to feel like we actually have power and things aren't so random. All I know for sure is hug your loved ones, hold them tight, and I hope one day to publish a new episode telling you what really happened. Terrifying and True is narrated by Enrique Couto. This episode is written by Morgan Moore. It's executive produced by Rob Fields, produced by Daniel Wilder, with original theme music by Ray Mattis. If you have a story you'd like us to cover on the program, send us an email at weeklyspooky@gmail.com. And if you want to support us in a very direct way, go to weeklyspooky.com and click on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can support us and allow us to keep the spooky rolling and rolling and rolling. And I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who pay just a little bit more to hear their names on the show. And they are Bobbletopia, Megan Hua, Julia Kirsch, Christopher Sullivan, Brent McCullough, Gino Lain, Steve King, Karen Wiemet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you next Monday.